Phuthi Swapi, who is the owner and founder of Mandlovu Gingerbeer. She's got a business in Phuthi Holdings, and today we're talking on the same theme as the focus within this time and this month. Kuba inyanga yo mama eti woman, business is for you. She is already with us in studio. Phuthi Masipuli Sesisi, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, Tani.
Let's start by allowing you to introduce yourself for the sake of our listeners who might not know you, and then also tell us a little bit about the business that you do.
Sure. Phuthi Swapi. Thank you for having me, Tandi.
Sure.
Phuthi Swapi, born and bred upper Ekwamani, Esbeleni specifically. I've got a 15-year-old son. I am the director of Phuthi Holdings. Under Phuthi Holdings, I have a brand called Mandlovu Gingerbeer that I began in 2022. Let's say late 2022. Yeah.
All right. And it is Women's Month. Happy Women's Month.
Thank you. To you too, Tandi.
Thank you. And then what does Women's Month mean to you? Like, or when it actually comes, okay, are you aware of it? And what does it even mean to you? Does it have any kind of meaning?
Yeah, okay, I'll be honest, I don't think about it either, like, all year round. But when we get to it and I start noticing that, oh, it's Women's Month. Women's Month is a month to celebrate women. It celebrates women, right? And it highlights the representation of women in different spaces, you know. In this regard, in this instance, it's business,
sure,
women in business, but yeah, it highlights the representation of women in different spaces that are out there, corporate, academia, different spaces like business. So that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
And when you look at it being Women's Month, and then do you have people, women that you look up to, that inspire you, that influence your life, that you draw strength from? You can give us a couple, 2 or 3, 1. I don't know if they
I'll give you 6.
Oh my word!
In a minute.
Why? That's too long, but
you know, but it will be quick. Don't worry. So I come from a family of incredible women. From my grandmother, my mother, my aunts. So I'll take one. My aunt, who helped to raise me, is the first woman that I'll mention. Reason is her character, success, and her kindness, you know. And my aunt has influenced a lot of my personal development. So every time I do, personal development is from education, social skills, overall person, yes. And so every time I do indoor that is of character or integrity, I notice that's actually what happens. Or it's something that I've seen her do, or it's And then the second one, okay, I'll be quick. Second one, I would say, okay, I'll combine these two because they have the same trait, so we're reducing that number quickly.
Okay.
Oprah and Dr. Lawrence. Dr. Lawrence, many people won't know her, but she was she was the head of department in the industrial engineering space at NMU. But she ran there's a program called Wela. It grooms and helps the women engineering students. So
I think I've seen that. Well,
so it helps them to prepare them to be ladies and women in the man dominant. She's very there. So the reason I put them together, I marry them, it's because they are passionate about young women. They're passionate about growing and grooming young women. If you know Oprah and the school. Then thirdly, Mahaswa, I'll be quick, don't worry, I'm almost done.
I don't know who that is.
Mahaswa is a lady who runs a ginger beer business up in Johannesburg.
Yes. you definitely need
yes, I actually discovered her only last week, but she's a beneficiary of a ASAB foundation. And I listened to her story. She grew this business over a space of 5 years. So me understanding the business and watching, I can relate and watched her, how she's developed it. And then fourthly, Toni Morrison. Okay, let's say number 5. Toni Morrison is an author. Sorry, Tandi. is an author that I read a lot. Toni Morrison inspires me in her writing. Very bold. I read a lot of her books. So she's also an example of people who, you know, get their break, like total breaks in like later in life. When the success comes. But it's just to show that different times, it's never too late.
And there's the right timing for everyone.
And
I
guess fine,
I don't want that.
And then the last one, is Cody Sanchez. Cody Sanchez is a businesswoman who has content around sharing nuggets, sharing business tips.
Sure.
She's a successful woman with many different businesses. Cody, I love her hardworking, hardworking nature. And I love how she shares how to really make it. So, and her YouTube channel specifically
helps you a lot. Wow.
Well, I watch a bit, but ndamthanda indlela wired up now. It was quite inspiring.
That is a lot of women. I think that's nice though, because it shows mama who are out in our spaces, who are contributing, you know, who are successful in so many different ways. I think what the way that you're presenting the different ladies in your life and like that inspire you shows in Dobana we need to be influenced in a categories different all round. Yes, and I think that's really lovely. And then let's talk about the purpose of women. What would you say, what do you think is actually the purpose of women on earth? Like, why are we here? Why were we created? What's our real role that we are supposed to play as women on earth?
Okay, the purpose of women for me is to nurture and build strong families.
Okay.
That's it. And that's what I'll
you think.
I think.
And then as a follow-up question to that, what do you think about the notion of then women belong in the kitchen and are there to make babies? You know, because I think it's beautiful what you're saying. We are truly designed to nurture and build strong families. But I think there's another extreme where it's like, okay, do only that.
No, even in the spaces that we work at, our nature, there's a way to turn it into something that is not the stereotype, you know.
Sure.
I don't mean it when I say nurture and build strong families. It's
not in the kitchen.
It's in the sense of the world. I feel how we move around, how we. It's a kind of a way of thinking that I think should be in the back of. It's building societies, building businesses. There's a way of doing that.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I actually do get.
Yeah.
I do understand that in whatever that we get into the world to do or touch, there should be a nurturing and a building
element to it.
Yes. Because that's what we have as women.
I believe that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And looking at the importance of taking care of yourself, I think as women, we are so busy. We are very, very busy. There's a lot that we need to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, taking care of families, taking care of homes, running businesses, climbing the corporate ladder, being in boardrooms and meetings, you know. Young and Jelando, it makes us so busy. How important is it, you know, for us to have time for ourselves as women? In the young and Jelando, babu busy, being able to say, okay, now I need to take a little bit of time for myself. A bit of selfishness, you know, that's not selfish. A bit of selfishness, that's not selfish. What's your take on that?
Just say the first part of your question again.
I'm saying that
I lost you.
Busy as women, you know, how important is it for us to take a bit of time out?
Oh, very. It's necessary. Yeah, it's needed. You can't work like an ant. I don't know. You can't robot. Like where you have to rest. Rest is important. So I believe taking that time out for yourself, that's you resting. Everyone needs a rest. We take Sundays to rest, some people.
Okay.
So a rest is very important for you to just carry on doing what you do best.
And in that space of taking care of ourselves, you know, what's your take on your mental health especially in respect to women, you know, how much we need to be taking care of our mental space.
No, especially women need to be cognizant, like need to be conscious of a mental health, because we are emotional beings.
Yeah.
And because we are emotional beings, that I believe, I know some people question that, are you really emotional? No, I think generally women are quite emotional, but they learn to channel it in the right way. But because of that element, you need to be be aware of your mental health, because you can easily break down if you are not always as logical of a thinker. So you need to always be mindful of your mental health. Take good care. Go to mental health awareness programs. So they need to be very much aware. I think we're quite sensitive to it.
Yeah. And self-care, you know, when you talk about self-care, and some women, us women get to be so used to taking care of others that when it's to this direction, it's like, what am I supposed to do? What do you mean I must, like, what does that look like? For you, what are some tips that you can be able to give us that, and there's also another connotation that comes with taking care of yourself, which is it's expensive, you know, because I can't afford a flight to Joburg to, so who said that in order for you to take care of yourself, you need to spend that much, you know? So what are some tips that you can give us that are practical, that we can be able to use to take care of ourselves? J's and that are easy to do, but that contribute a lot to feeding us.
I'll give you very basic and simple tips.
Sure.
Eat right, eat well.
What is to eat right, Phuthi?
Eat well, Zamal. Spinach. Just trying to eat,
healthy.
Tiny.
I know
what the body needs.
I do know, but I think they might not get it.
Eat your veggies. Your protein, your fruits. Try stay away from the chocolates as much as you can. Eat well.
Okay.
Exercise whenever. Exercise is important.
That works for you.
That works for you, because we're very different. And then lastly, I would say do your hair and nails in every chance you get.
Hair and nails.
Every chance you get, do your hair and nails.
Look good.
It helps. It makes a world of a difference.
It really does boost you. Like it puts you, and it's not that expensive. It's not. It doesn't even have to be.
If you think about the impact it has.
Yes, you can do that trade off.
Feel good.
All right. Talk to us a little bit about some challenges that you faced as a woman in business, generally in your life, or in business only. It's your choice, and can be ways that you use to overcome such challenges.
Working with people is always challenging, but let me pick one challenge for you, Thandisa. Let me pick one challenge that I've experienced personally in my business. My crates are heavy. But
you need strength.
I tend to always, or quite often, need. Okay, it takes a lot. Those few seconds to get the crates from the car to the building, and from the car to the shop. It takes a lot of my strength. So it's difficult to carry. Sometimes there's no one to help. I have to really just hang in there. But usually people are quite helpful, even the guys at the shop or the driver or whatever. So that's my biggest challenge that I've had in my business. It's the heavy load that I have to sometimes carry. Even from the manufacturing sometimes. And I'm a cardio person, so weights for me feel like slave work. I'm not strength exercises. I struggle with my consistency in them. sucks. Yeah.
But
There's
no,
no
actually,
consistency in them.
I didn't think that you'd come up with that, but it's such
No,
a
it's
truth, you know.
it's a fact. Sorry, ngokhala Thandi uthetha.
Sure.
But yeah, if you think of women, okay, I don't want people who okay, just carry on. Sorry, never mind what I was going to say. Sorry about that.
Okay,
Sorry
I think I've never thought about it by a challenge, but I like the fact that I'm having a conversation with a business person. So this is your personal lived experience, you know. And I've never thought about it, but it immediately
I
said,
live it every week, Thandi.
you are in it, and it is not as easy, you know. These are the that we overlook. I would too, you know. I mean, she's got it, whatever. But sometimes it's a struggle, and you're not gonna stop doing your business because of that.
Yeah.
You are going to just push through it.
I mean, there'll come a time where I don't have to do
You
it
don't
all
have-
by
over
myself.
time, over
Yes,
time,
over
with
time.
growth.
But that's where I am right now,
With
and
growth, yeah.
it is what it is.
All right. And then let's talk about the femininity and softness of women. I mean, I think we get born with it, right? Like
Yeah.
singabandaba soft, like we are. Obviously, we're not masculine most generally, ne? So, how do we balance that with the boldness that is required in business? Because Abanyaman would say that if you are too soft in business, you know, you're going to be walked over, you're going to be ignored. So how do we balance that out so that there's a healthy balance between your femininity, your softness, and the strength and boldness that you need as you're running your business?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Hey, I embrace. I'm soft, ne?
Okay.
and I embrace it. I'm feminine. My femininity, I embrace. I'm quite soft. I try to be bold. I mean, coming from also the engineering space of things, from education.
Yes.
So, but I embrace my softness. Nah, I'm one person who does.
You feel like it's a strength somehow?
It is a strength, yeah,
Okay.
definitely, because there are different ways to lead and to, yeah, boy.
Sure.
There's different styles of leadership, once they say, yeah, boy.
It is
So
true.
it can be a power, but you are asking how do you balance it. So I have to find, as much as it's a challenge for me, I have to find ways to balance it. Like, for instance, Toni Morrison that I mentioned earlier on, her books and her boldness in her writing style, and her boldness in the stuff she writes about sometimes, and yeah, you know, people know she writes about black people specifically.
Okay.
But when someone said to me that the one, and I took this lesson. Well, I think I've taken this lesson with balancing. You need to check the setting. You know, there are
Okay, sure.
situations. Yes, the way you are at home should be sometimes different to work, because young people will walk all over you at work. It's difficult. So you check the setting. I think balance it out by just getting your emotions right also, and the settings.
Yeah, because you know what I'm thinking, Nick? Sometimes in business you have to fight. If in fact we are in a continuous fight in business, that's the truth. Like, like if you don't get the fact that a business in Galiwa and akulwa namtu, but kulwelwa, you're fighting for your dream, for your vision, for what you're trying to build, you know.
Yeah, what you believe
and
in.
yes, what you're believing in, and sometimes you'll find that your opportunities. Sometimes if you're like, do you think I might be able to, you know, do or knock on this door? If you come with that attitude, you're gonna get a hard no. But if you're like, I'm gonna get into this door, you know.
Yeah,
you
sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it totally wrong. One of the two examples you just made, I'm either or.
It depends.
It depends.
I don't think it's an easy space to navigate, but I think awareness around is that space. But I love the fact that you put it in the it's about checking the setting. Sometimes in some settings you have to be, you know, switch to your soft cap, but sometimes then, you know, go to your bold cap, because as fun in any situations and what they need.
Yeah.
And you don't have to change yourself.
Definitely. And I remember that's one of the things, like Dr. Lawrence that I mentioned earlier on, where it's what's being taught, like how to be a lady and a woman in a male-dominated space.
Industry.
So you can still there are superpowers also in being a woman in such spaces where it's remedial to certain circumstances, and actually you can be recommended as a woman specifically to deal with certain people. So
because of that. Awesome. And do you get times of self-doubt where you feel like you are, literally doubting yourself or having self-esteem issues or lack of confidence in certain situations, and how do you deal with those moments? I think everyone does get them, but it just varies.
Yeah. Or self-doubt, when times get really hard, you're like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Denzani.
Denzandoni. You know,
Yeah.
but whenever I get it's self-doubt, and what was the other thing you mentioned?
Like, lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence,
or low
fear.
self-esteem and fear. Yes.
How do I overcome it? I think I always go back to the belief that I have in my business, because I strongly believe in it, and I understand that life is short and you want to create things that will last.
Sure.
And so it's all about going back to your belief in what it is that you're doing.
Awesome. And do you have a book that you can recommend for us? I know you are a reader, that you think can be able to help someone because it helped you, or you enjoyed, or you loved?
I don't read a lot of self-help books because they are difficult to read.
Why? What do you mean?
Sometimes they're difficult to read, the self-help books, and they boring. No, but besides Sebenza, sometimes it sounds like a broken record a bit. Okay, not all the time. Okay, yeah. So they're different, né? But generally for me, self-help books are difficult to read, and most of my reading is for leisure and entertainment. Like my books entertain me. I read for leisure entertainment.
So you like novels and
or just quite entertaining biographies. I haven't read so many of them, but I have. There is a self-help book that has helped me that I would recommend it to everyone. It says The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. That's a great book. It's short and sweet. It's straight to the point. It's a good like those kinds of self-help books.
The ones you can.
Nice and short ones. But like I said, I'm a Toni Morrison fan, and so that reading and women empowerment it's also found in her books.
All right. Any last words of encouragement to women listening right now, especially those that feel like who are having that question, but Indonesians are wanting to throw in the towel, wanting to give up on the dream, on their business, on their vision? How would you encourage them today?
Okay. I don't know. Go back. I think I'll go back to what I said earlier on. So you go back to your belief in something. Ne? If you truly believe in it, stick it through. Do it. Try to. If you understand why, go back to your why you were doing it in the very first place. But in terms of business, if there's a business you need to give up on, switch. Okay, I'm not saying.
Oh my word! But you need to say that well.
No,
let
me fix that quickly. Let me explain what I'm saying now.
Okay.
So if you're a person, I believe business is a choice that you make. I think I once said this to you that it's you choose. I'm gonna do business, or I'm gonna work, right?
Yes.
But if let's say you are a business person and there's a business that is not working out for you, it's really like not working. You switch, like you can always change to another business. Sure. In terms of giving up, and that's what I'm trying to say, ne?
And just switch is necessary sometimes.
Sometimes a switch is necessary, ne? Not necessarily give up on business completely. Ne? Switch and you might be refreshed when you get to the new space, and everything will be good again.
Yeah.
But if it's something you really should be doing, go back to your belief in it and why
you started
it.
in the first
And
place.
remember that life is short, and you want to create things that will last for your kids and your kids' kids. You know, so
sustainable.
Yes,
kind of, yeah.
things that you can leave behind.
All right. Phuthi, thank you so much for coming through and having this conversation with us. We are refreshed, and there's a beautiful perspective that you have in Women's Month and on a couple of things that affect us as women. But before I let you go, please provide us with your contact information in case someone wants to buy some of your products. Mandlovu Gingerbeer. Yeah, what do we do? Also, classes Funa, do we just contact you, email you? What do we do?
Okay. People can go onto my Facebook page, Mandlovu Gingerbeer. Please follow it. Usually that's where I will say where it's available.
Sure.
Different shops around Queenstown and Stickstrom have it. They may contact me for direct orders on 082 621 7770. They can just drop them a WhatsApp message.
So batatu ba 7.
Batatu
Okay.
and 10.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, Tanya. It was great chatting to you.
Awesome. Mandlovu Community Radio. That was Phuthi Swapi, a teacher holding with a brand Mandlovu Gingerbeer, talking to us about being a woman in business, and from her perspective, I think it was a beautiful conversation. We learnt a lot from that. Right now, Maskobe Vengile. Lendengiso ilandelayo.